Hi everybody. They say 3 is a charm. So I'm going to try this one more time to see if it works. 3 is a charm. Happy Halloween for the 3rd time. I tried doing this twice on my Facebook page. It did not work. It kept being fuzzy and went in and out, and I don't know if it's because of the rain, so I'm hoping this time it works. And maybe it's just a sturdier connection here on Facebook. Anyway, today is my birthday. I'm 62, and I'm not through. Last year I was 61, I'm not done. I could not think about what I would use for 62, and I'm not through. And then a lovely millennial in January, who I had dinner with at a conference in California, said, Darlene, here it is. So I'm using what Jeffrey said. There's a few things I want to talk about for the 3rd time. One is a couple of life lessons that I gave some thought to. And the other is just some things that I want to share with you about what's going on with me so that you can see that you can do it too. Not exactly like me, but you can do it in whatever way works for you. But first of all, life lessons. One, as anyone that's read my book, Stop Depriving the World of You, you know that I believe the past serves 2 purposes. 1, savoring the delicious memories that you have. 2, what have you learned from the past? And recently I realized I had some connections from very long ago, a time that I needed to learn some lessons. So I looked at these connections several times. And I realized, why am I looking at this? I know what I learned. This serves no value or purpose. I'm a busy woman. And I reminded myself that what we learn is we take in information and we give it some thought and we decipher it, and we keep what we need, we discard what we don't. And although that change and growth comes from within us. If anybody's writing anything, I can't see a thing, by the way, because I took my glasses off, but thank you. But growth and change comes from within. And I know this better, I should know this, I'm a therapist, but sometimes we forget ourselves. All we are is guides. That's all we are. Truly, the work comes from the person. When people thank me for my help, I remind them I'm just their guide. If they didn't want to make it happen, it wouldn't happen. And I believe the lesson I learned, and I continue to learn, and I probably knew before even, but I forgot maybe, is that we are works in progress. I tend to be very hard on myself. But we are works in progress, as I hope to remain all the days of my life, and maybe in 30 years from now, if I'm on this earth, which I don't know. I'm not saying it's likely or unlikely, but I hope that I can look back and say, well, I've learned something there too. That's what I hope. That I remain a work in progress, as I think everyone should. It keeps us open, it keeps us vibrant, it keeps us alive. So that's one lesson. The past belongs to the past. The windshield's wide open. The past shrinks away and disappears like a rearview mirror. And I did not come up with this. I saw this kind of quote or phrase somewhere, and I remember it over and over. But it resonates, because even though my path in front of me may be much shorter than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it's still there. There's still a road in front of me. And I will make use of it and be open to it as long as I'm here. Platinum Style Authenticity, I want to continue to operate in that manner, as I say in my book. The second lesson was, there are choices in life. If you have your health, if you have your brain, if you have a willingness to give a try. Recently I got stuck. When I was in this stuckness, it felt very, very stuck. But then I realized I have a choice. And I circumvented that stuckness. And I got unstuck. And I came to a decision that was inevitable. And I accelerated it. I'll just say that. And I will talk more about it and write more about it. I will not discuss the issue. It's not necessary, because we all get stuck. The issue is more about what it led me to do and about making choices. And that's what I did. And I'm excited about that. So I talk today because I feel very blessed to be on this earth at 62. I'm a person of faith. I believe in God. I believe He's given me the privilege of being here until He's ready to take me home. And while I'm here, I'll continue to do what I need to do. And one of those things is I want everyone I come across that doesn't believe that they can do it, that they can, that they are capable of creating new chapters in their life. I like to write, I like to read. So the book is the perfect metaphor. And for anyone, just to remind you, there's a great article, and I say it because I love it. I keep reading it because I really enjoyed writing it. A brand new chapter. It's on Biz Catalyst, where I was invited to be a featured contributor. Thank you, Dennis Potoko, for having me. And it was my first article with them. And of all the articles I've written so far, it's my favorite. I really, really enjoyed writing it, and I really enjoy reading it because it's how I feel. It's how I want everyone to feel. I really mean that. And that's what I say to people, and they know I mean it. I hope they know I mean it, is I want you to have a better life. I can't change your life, but I want you to have a better life if their life is not what they want it to be. And don't let age defy you. I'm 62. I'm no spring chicken. I'm a woman at a certain age, and that's okay. I don't mind. I never had a problem getting older. And I have my health, which makes that certainly, that gives me a one-up. But I just want to really, really, really remind people, don't stop. Don't give up. If you want to look at the four walls, go ahead. But I really don't think that will give you happiness. That leads me to my next point. As many of you know, I developed a podcast called Tap Into the Power of You. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, a.k.a. iTunes, or should I say originally known as iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, SoundCloud, and now, with great pleasure and honor, I say iHeartRadio and iHeart.com, my small, steady podcast. Yay! And the podcast is for women 40 plus who wish to get unstuck and the men who wish to join them. Yeah. And for those who are under 40, please, I invite you to listen because you will turn 40. You want to turn 40. If that seems old to you, believe me, it's not. You want to turn 40. You want to be able to reach that pivotal age, and then 50, and then 60, and then 70. And I have had the privilege and the honor of having the most amazing guests, people that of many ages, over 40 at least, all the way until close to 80. And they all have something so unique to offer because they're unique. And I want you to listen to their stories because they may not do something that interests you, but you may get a nugget of an idea and says, wow, but I had this idea from long ago. I think I'll do that. Or I have this new idea. I think I'll do it. And again, it doesn't have to be what they're doing, what I'm doing, but what you want to do in your unique way. I invite you to listen for that reason. And the other thing that always stays in the back of my mind since I developed this podcast is the disturbing increase in suicide. And I'm going to digress for a moment because this is important. I'm going to talk about the fact that the suicide rate, according to the CDC in the last few weeks, reported this. It increased 56% from the year 2007 until 2017. Unacceptable. And not just among adolescents, age 10, children, until 24, young adults. The bulk was adolescents. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. We live in a land of abundance. No matter what you think, we are very privileged in terms of having freedoms and abundance. And yet, hopelessness ensues. Futility. And parents, if you're listening, I remind you to know what's going on with your children. Safety supersedes all. Privacy is out the window when it comes to safety. It is as a therapist. Doesn't matter. And that's why certain things stay in my brain. But if someone feels they're going to hurt yourself, privacy no longer matters. Confidentiality is out the window. You need to know what's going on with your children. And many years ago, I saw an 18-year-old who lost both his parents. One from illness, the other from suicide. And this young man didn't have a lot to say. And that's why I don't see adolescents as much. I don't have the energy to talk. And you have to do a lot of talking with adolescents. They're listening, but they don't always want to talk back at you. But he said something very wise I'll never forget. He said, in his very kind of monotone but sweet voice, parents need to talk to their children, not at their children. I thought, wow. And that's seared in my brain as it will for all the days of my life. I see the most amazing people. I have had the privilege of learning from so many people. And all their thoughts and ideas are what helped me write my book. I've been most honored. But that stayed with me. So remember that. We must curtail this. You can blame this. Everybody's all set when it happens, and I get it. You want to find a quick solution. You want, is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is it that? 2007 to 2017, I believe it's been stealth even before that. I think it's a much deeper, convoluted issue, and I'm not going to get into my opinion on this. But I can certainly say that I believe I'm correct because I've had enough life experiences, personally and professionally. We must curtail that. Now, getting back to the adult population, it continues to rise. Men, sadly, it has never stopped rising. I think it's decreased at times. You know, it's not, the numbers have not been as high, but it still continues. But disturbingly again, the female population, I believe, and I could be wrong with the years, 2000 to 2014, the female suicide rate increased 60 to 80% from ages 44 to 64 in the Caucasian population. Why do I use race? Because they did not see this, the researchers, in the Black, Asian, or Latino community. They were baffled. They could not come up with one variable. They concluded that it must be due to 1, substance abuse, 2, financial ruin, 3, disappointment in life. I would concur with all of those, but I would add purpose and connection. And many people believe it's all over. Kids are gone, husband or wife is gone, my youth is gone. What's the point? There is a point. The point is you've been given the gift of life, and even though it may not feel like a gift at that moment, you turn the page and you read that article of mine, a brand new chapter. You turn that page and you can see that you can write a new chapter. And that's why I invite you to listen to my podcast, not for me only. I'm not making any money from this podcast. I love doing it. I'm getting my message out, which I want, and I'm hoping it gives me more opportunities where I can make some money, but I love doing it. It's like, wow. My husband suggested it a while ago. I said, what are you, crazy? Why would I do that? And then I thought, what am I, crazy? Why wouldn't I do that? I'm a relationship person. It resonates perfectly. So I invite you, please, please, please find the resources and remind yourself that nothing stays the same. And that impulsive thought of wanting to go to the other side too soon can be obliterated the next minute, the next hour, the next day. There's always a chance if you have life. And I'm telling you, I've sat with people that were in pain, disabled. I sat with a lovely man for over 10 years. Irrevocable loss. Someday, or irreparable loss. Someday with medical innovation, he will not have to suffer that way. But he did. But he said, Darlene, I don't want to die. I want to live. And he never gave up hope. He took his one-way flight to heaven. And I salute him over and over. He was an amazing, amazing man because he never gave up. He never gave up. And he had every reason, from everybody else's standpoint, to see why he would be more depressed. I told him he had an athlete's brain. He never, ever stopped being tenacious, strong, pursuing what he wanted. So I learned from all these wonderful people I've had the privilege to see. Stop into the power of you. We must curtail this horrible affliction in our society of suicide. Yes, drugs, yes, all those things, but suicide. We must stop it. We must, if not eliminate it, at least curtail it to a point where it decreases markedly. Hope must be in our hands to help people that are hopeless. Finally, now that I've given my more than 2 cents, I just read an article in the Wall Street Journal about Alzheimer's. I'm a little behind. I believe it was in Monday's journal. And I just want to say this. We're all going to get older if we get to live in this world. It's a privilege to get older. As you know, and many of you I know agree with me, some of us might get sick. Many people are now moving away. They don't want to be around Alzheimer's. They don't know what to say. This is what I say to you that don't know what to say. Sometimes I don't know what to say, and I'm in the people business. This is what you say. I don't know what to say. You use a tone that's beautiful and you say, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. Eventually, as their memory recedes, you can just smile at them, you can touch them, you can hug them, and you just be there. Even if it's for 5 minutes, they're not going to know. But don't stop having them. Don't ignore them. Don't shun. The golden rule. And I have to, believe me, I have to be reminded. I'm a very impassioned person. I get my back up sometimes. I'm overly sensitive. But we all have to be reminded of the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. And that goes for those that are aged. My father had Alzheimer's, so it's a little bit of a sensitive issue. My father-in-law has Alzheimer's, and I've had disabilities all around me. We must always, for those of us that have health, it's great wealth. And we must continue to be there in some capacity, some. Not that you have to be caretakers, but be there in some capacity for those that need us. For those, because I really believe that's part of who we are as human beings, to give and be here on the earth to serve in some capacity. And I hope I wasn't sounding like a lecturer. I'm just giving you my thoughts. It's my birthday, so that's that. I'm 62, and hopefully, God willing, I'll be back here at 63. But you will see me on Facebook. One more thing, if I didn't already say it. See, 60 is not the new 40, except I just forgot what I said. I'm going to do Facebook Lives here, not on my page. And eventually I'm going to upload to YouTube. And if you would, please, I have hardly marketed my YouTube because I did YouTubes, I didn't like it. And my friend Tara, if she's on here, said, it's like being on a set getting ready. And she's absolutely right. I thought, I have to pose, I have to rehearse, I have to memorize. It's not me. I want to be spontaneous. So I'm going to do Facebook Lives, brief ones. This is much longer. This is my birthday though, so, okay. But they'll be very, like 1 or 2 minutes the most. And I will be on Facebook once a week, maybe more often, to upload to my YouTube eventually. And thank God for innovation. I embrace the internet because I learned from YouTube how to upload Facebook Live to YouTube. Turn it to MP4 to YouTube. I never thought, I've always embraced newness. I love the traditions, but I also embrace the newness of what medical innovation, technological innovation brings us. On that long-winded note, thank you for listening. I see all these hearts and likes, and I can't see what you're writing, but I appreciate it so much. I look forward to seeing those of you whom I know and that I can at least be within geographical distance, even if it's within the country. And for those of you who don't or on the other side of the world, virtual connections, I want to thank you, and thank you all for acknowledging my birthday. I am so honored and blessed. Have a wonderful day. Happy Halloween. Enjoy. Until next year for my long-winded, but hopefully engaging Facebook Live on Halloween 2020.